What's going down, y'all? It's the Wake Up Crew here to talk some NBA prop plays over on Prize Picks for this Sunday, November the 13th, 2022 NBA slate. We already have the Oklahoma City Thunder and the New York Knicks playing right now, but quick recap of the plays that we discussed on the channel yesterday. 1 for 2. Tobias Harris did come through for us with the fantasy score. Jordan Clarkson sold in the second half. He had his first half points and did not end up going over his points and rebounds or the total points. And I don't know the last player that you talked about yesterday.
It was Brandon Ingram's three-pointers. He went over 4 and didn't shoot enough, but what are you going to do? Off shooting night for him. I told people the points weren't going to probably be there, and they weren't. Zion smashed, and like you mentioned, Tobias Harris did get it done for us. But yeah, can't bank on Jordan Clarkson being the only player on his team not to get 3 rebounds, which is pretty annoying, but that's just betting, and it happens sometimes.
Overall record, man, Jay, we went through and counted up all the plays that we've talked about on this channel. 53, 44, and 2 overall on the season. So not bad. Over that 50% mark. We want to make sure you're above 50%. I mean, the sign of a good bettor is about 56%, I believe. So we're a little over 50%, 53, 44, and 2 on the season, and that includes the plays from last night. So we checked out the model, we looked at the book lines, and hopefully we got some good plays for y'all today that we're going to get into right now.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by Prize Picks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay, we got the Prize Picks board pulled up, and I'm going to talk about my first play, Ray's first play. I'm going to the Steph Curry over 30.5 points. Versus Sacramento today. We saw him go for 47 versus Sacramento last week. He had 40 points a couple of days ago versus Cleveland. This is a plus matchup for Steph Curry. Defensively, the Sacramento Kings, I don't know what they're going to do. Mitchell, Fox, whomever they want to throw on them, I don't believe it will be enough for them to slow down Steph Curry. You look at defensively, if we go over here to props.cash and we take a look at the defensive matchup for Steph Curry versus Sacramento, they're 25th in points allowed, 30th dead last in field goal percentage allowed, 3-point percentage allowed, 29th. We know Steph's going to get up those. And versus Sacramento, again, like I talked about, he had 47 versus them last time with the game total projected at 237 points. There will be a lot scored. It's about even money on the books. You said that this felt a little low to you when you first saw it, but I'm taking the over Steph Curry 30.5 points, Jay.
Yeah, it sounds crazy to say 30.5 is low, but with the way that Steph is playing, it does feel a little bit low. We've seen Luka up at 33.5, 34.5, and I don't think that Steph has been any worse of a scorer. Now, Luka is his own beast, but, to your point, Steph Curry has hit 7 3-pointers in each of the 2 games against Sacramento this season. It's a great matchup, and I think, Ray, even on the other side, if you wanted to talk about De'Aaron Fox, I think De'Aaron Fox is in a pretty good spot too. It's not a core play for me, but if Steph's going to drop 30 points, De'Aaron Fox at 25.5 seems reasonable. I think his points and assists are a slightly better number. He did have 10 assists in the first game with 6 in the game after that, but I'm not all in on Fox, but I think if you're going to talk about Steph Curry, you do have to talk about De'Aaron Fox on the other side. Kevin Huerter does not have a good matchup, has gone under his point total in both games against Golden State this season. I think we're going to see a lot of Fox, and I know that you're a big fan of Domantas Sabonis as well, the big man for Sacramento in this one.
Yeah, I think Sabonis, 18.5 points isn't a bad play. Again, not a core play for me. We look at what he's done over his last 5. Good matchup versus Golden State down low, having to deal with Fox. Not a core play for me, but I do like Sabonis. Where are you at with your core play for this Sunday?
So I'm going over to the Denver Nuggets and talking about Nikola Jokic, a player who has been struggling. I'm talking about his points, rebounds, and assists at 44.5. You see, he has not hit in the last 5 games. He actually hasn't hit in the last 7 games. He's only hit in 2 of his last 10 games. The thing with Jokic that's weird, right? We've seen his points have started to go up because his shot attempts have gone up, but his rebounds have started to decline a little bit, and his assists have been spotty. Now they're up against Chicago today, who are on 3 days of rest. So we'll see how Chicago ultimately plays this one. Are they going to come out sluggish? Are they going to come out hot and rested? We'll see, but they are 11th in points allowed. They're 12th in rebounds allowed, and they're 21st in assists allowed with the number 2 ranked center defense. You'll probably see a lot of Patrick Williams, see some Vooch. I think I like him to go under in this one again. Like I said, he's been shooting a lot more, but it's his other areas of his game have been struggling. He hasn't really put up a complete performance since he played the Lakers on October 26th when he had 8 points, rebounds, and assists of 53. Since then, he's been 44 or under, and he did have 44 against Chicago last season. I think he's going to continue to struggle. We've seen Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have been working in a lot more, and having everybody back, I think, has caused Jokic to take a bit of a step back offensively. He's still going to get his assists, but I think the rebounds and the points are going to continue to struggle until the books kind of adjust. They're slowly moving this number down, right? I don't think it's quite far enough just yet for Nikola Jokic. I'm taking the under at 44.5.
Yeah, man, and you talked about the Bulls being well-rested and having just different bodies to throw on him, right? Vooch is going to see some Jokic. They're probably going to put Patrick Williams on him some. And then you just have active hands. DeSumo, really good getting steals. So there just could be some areas in which they struggle to, to let Jokic really get going in that one. I've been playing his under a couple of times this season, and it's been doing pretty well. So I don't mind this play at all. I want to stay in the same game because there's a player that I'm on that you're not quite as high on, but it's DeMar DeRozan over 24.5 points. Listen, over his last 5, 23.4 versus, here's an interesting stat on DeMar DeRozan. When playing at home, he's 20 of 25 of hitting this number of 24.5 points when he gets up 15-plus field goal attempts in that matchup. So a really good stat to back DeMar DeRozan with that starting lineup with DeSumo, with Patrick Williams, with Vooch, with LaVine. There are no high-volume shooters outside of DeMar and LaVine. Now, DeSumo can score. We have seen Vooch get those points up, but having to deal with Jokic in this one, Vooch and Patrick Williams, I think the two primary scorers on this team will be DeMar and LaVine getting up those shots. And anytime DeMar at home gets up 15-plus field goal attempts, he's cruised past his 24.5 number. So with the extended rest, I am going to bank on him coming out hot, well-rested and fresh. And right now, the books have this at 24.5 juiced heavy to the over, and some spots already have bumped this up to 25.5 points. I wouldn't be shocked if PrizePicks moves this up a point before tip-off at 7:10. So I get it. It could come out flat, but the other side of that coin is they could also come out very well-rested and hot. And again, having to deal with Jokic, I don't believe Patrick Williams or Vooch will be doing a ton of scoring in this matchup, at least early on. I do think DeMar and Zach LaVine should be able to come out hot, and this data backs it up at home where he gets 15-plus attempts. He's gone over this 20 of 25 times. I'm trusting the data, trusting the matchup is pretty solid. Denver's not good versus the guard position, so DeMar should have every opportunity to get shots up and score. I'm going over 24.5 points.
Yeah, Ray. I mean, there's two sides to the coin, like you mentioned, and the other side of this is also after this game. Both teams don't play until Wednesday again, so there is that aspect of there's really no reason to play your starters heavy minutes because they will get another rest, but we'll see how this shakes out, right? I am with you that I think the data does definitely support the play, and so I'm not all the way off of it, but this is the same way that Tobias Harris didn't hit when the Philadelphia 76ers came up flat against Atlanta, but I'm with you. I think it's a fine play. It's not one I'm necessarily going to be in on, but I do think there's a lot of data to support it. It just depends on what we see from the Bulls and how they ultimately come out in this one. The only thing that is effective for DeMar when he does have 3 days of rest, surprisingly, is his free throw percentage, right? Those fundamentals start to go a little bit, but shooting the ball, he has been very good, pretty much about the same whether he's on 1 day of rest or 2 days of rest. So it's not too bad. It's just hopefully he doesn't have to take too many shots from the free throw line and just gets those shots up from the field. But I am with you. I think the play is just fine.
All right. Anything else you got for the people today?
Not really. I was really looking at Dylan Brooks. I'm looking at Dylan Brooks. I see the 21.5, and I'm just like, I know he's going to shoot, but I'm not there yet. I believe the last time he played without John Morant and Desmond Bane, he put up 30 points or something. But again, it's like there's not enough data to support it. He will definitely shoot. Will he go over? I'm not all in on that. And then Tyus Jones, I was looking at his assists. His assists look okay, but I'm not really going to go there either. He put up 10 assists in the only game he played without them this season, but I don't really like the 7.5. The matchup isn't great. Obviously, a bench player who's going to be a starter in this one. He's one of the best facilitators in the league, but I'm not all in on Tyus Jones. Just another one I was looking at. I think still Jokic, DeMar, and Steph Curry are probably the 3 best plays, and I already talked about Fox a little bit and why I think he could be another one who should be good today.
There it is, the three core plays. Steph Curry, more than 30.5 points. Nikola Jokic, under 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And DeMar DeRozan, over 24.5 points in this matchup. Those are the three core plays that we are recommending to you all. Mix and match these. As always, take what you like, leave what you do not like. All that I ask is that you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and like the video. Comment below, let us know what you're rocking with today. As always, if you tail, give PrizePicks hell. And if we fail, do not bail. We'll be back tomorrow with more NBA plays and Monday Night Football. Enjoy basketball and football tonight. Good luck and good night. We'll see you tomorrow. We're out. Peace.